your character.
What up, YouTube fam? Coming with at you with another video. I think this is pretty funny that this is being such a topic that I want to address. Of course, again, as you see in the title, uh, this is about load management, and I don't understand really why this is such a big topic because there's so many ways that this could be fixed to make people either not want to or just make it not a thing. And this is all because there's such a long NBA season, and nowadays people are too afraid to actually play that long of a season, especially if there's some kind of injury that could be involved. And it's just silly. I mean, like, there's no reason why the NBA season should have been 82 games to begin with. So, I mean, there's 30 teams in the NBA. If you had 60 game season, you would still have every team would play another team twice. That's enough for every. Actually, let's see. You also got to take out the amount for your own team. So let's just say a 58 game season. That's enough for your team to play every team twice, and that's enough to get a good enough balance to see where everybody's going to be for that particular season. So I don't understand the whole point of this talk about load management. You know, the argument to load management, why they haven't done it so far, is it's going to take away funds from the NBA, all the broadcasting and all that other kind of stuff. With the world we live in today, that's no excuse, because if you don't, you could either broadcast it on other stations, which my knowledge of cable, there's so many games that don't get broadcast on so many different channels. If you actually took the time to broadcast these games, uh, specifically local games definitely have to be broadcast for local fans. Like, for instance, not just because there's a super marquee player that's going to be playing. That doesn't necessarily just mean that it has to be nationally televised. Let some small market teams get some national televised without there being a marquee player playing. I mean, I'm from North Carolina, so of course my local market team is the Charlotte Hornets. They only get on TV nationally televised if they're really playing like a big market team, like New York or Boston or LA or somewhere like that. They don't get no love on the nationally televised level. I mean, granted, ain't nobody really making too much of an effort, and that's really the management's fault. So I mean, I understand the exchange. There's no real marquee players. There's no real money being spent in those markets. How Charlotte's not part of that, I'll never know, since their owner is Michael Jordan. That doesn't really make sense to me. However, I'm not even going to touch on that because that's a whole nother argument for a whole nother video. Because, like I said, still trying to figure out how Michael Jordan's not luring more talent to the Charlotte area. We may be a small market here in North Carolina, but that could change. That could easily change. You know, People migrate to North Carolina all the time. I can't tell you how many friends I have who've moved to North Carolina because of how much more efficient they can live their life. and do more with their money. Their money stretches much further way because of their move to North Carolina. So either way, that, again, like I said, that's a whole nother topic, whole nother day, whole nother video. But also, even aside from doing that, because like I said, I understand that that's a little bit far fetched. But in regards to the world we live in now, this digital world, if you didn't want to necessarily do that, you could also utilize YouTube TV, Twitter, which you kind of, which they have kind of used Twitter a little bit, but they haven't used it to its max. They could do, like I said, YouTube TV, Twitter, Hulu, Netflix, all these other kind of things that could actually incorporate. Now, granted, maybe Hulu and Netflix not so much, but I mean they have Instagram. Instagram now has a TV service. YouTube TV, like I've already said like 2 or 3 times. Uh, Twitter, if they would go ahead and continue to build on to that idea, because they do stream some live events on Twitter, so it's not far fetched in that regard. So again, they could shorten the NBA season, change the revenue strategy where they broadcast in more other facets, so they would still cover the amount of revenue that's coming in and whatnot. So I mean, there's all kinds of other ways to handle it, but truthfully, the load management stuff gets on my nerves because I see it from both perspectives. The fan perspective, if I was to actually spend $1,000 to go see, in this particular case, Kawhi Leonard play in a game with the Clippers, and he sits out, I'm gonna be like, that was the main reason I spent $1,000. I wanted to go see the main character. I wanted to see the main event right there. And in the Clippers case, they have a lot of great players, but Kawhi Leonard is the main event for that team. And just like anybody else. Now, they're, and, of course, newer people are getting a whole lot of flack because of that, because, of course, people in the generation where I was younger watching, like, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all those other greats from those years, they played those long seasons, no problem, didn't care. It was what it was. But I'm really not sure. That's a whole nother topic for another day as well, because, well, that can kind of muddy the waters while I'm going with this. My whole purpose of this video that I'm making is because of the fact that load management comes up far too often. Is really sickening for fans, because we spend money to go see a game. We want to see that game play to its fullest extent with everybody on the court who is physically healthy enough. If you're not healthy, that's a different story. Sit out, get rest, get rehabilitated, all that good stuff. That's it. We can't ask you to do something that your body's not capable of doing. We understand. But if you're physically capable of getting out there on the court, you need to be on the court. On the other side, I know the management perspective, because they're trying to hold out their best players for the more important part of the year, but they're also losing money at the same time. So you got to be more mindful of how you're actually doing this, because this could cause you to lose money if you load manage too much. And I understand really also now, because we're only like 8, 9, 10 games into the season, and people are already doing load management. It's kind of weird to be doing load management that early. But like I said, both sides of the coin. There's a lot to talk about. A lot of ways the waters can be murky. but a lot of clear-cut ways that it can be resolved. I just really wish that this was no longer an issue because I'm getting tired of hearing about it. Either shorten the season so that there won't be people tempted to do load management, or really just that's really it. Just either shorten the season where people won't be tempted to do load management. That's really where it boils down to, and then use the other avenues to televise the game so you don't lose out on the televised revenue that you're receiving from all the different facets that you're receiving that. But anyway, if you see this video, feel free to hit me up. If in fact, real quick, not even gonna bother with that. But again, like I said, I'm just really, really annoyed with hearing about load management. It should be a simple fix. I know there are people who are better with this math than I am because they spend all their waking hours, all their working work hours dealing with these equations and whatnot. So I'm not sure why this is an issue. With as many people that I'm sure are working on this on a regular basis, I'm not sure why this is an issue. So I really wish that they would get it together, stop allowing the media to make such a big deal about it, and get it over with. That's it. But I'm done ranting. I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, share the joint, have fun with it in the comments. I'll let you. Peace.